He's done! Bugs are everywhere! Go away! The bugs are back in town, ladies and gentlemen, in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. And today, you and I are going to talk about the new Poggle Omicron for Territory Wars and how this baby's supercharging the Genos, and this is going to be huge for early mid-game guilds. And I'm not gonna lie, my guild's kind of mad at me. I was like this close to being kicked out because I decided to apply the Sierra June to Omicron, and they wanted me to apply this one. Oops. Now, since this team is back on top of things, I want to show this fantastic graphic made by Pimpo, the greatest modder in Galaxy of Heroes, and is the guild leader for one of the best guilds in the game. This team is back on even top guild radars, and they made this fantastic graphic showing you the key zetas and modding you're gonna want to have on these Geonosians. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm gonna see if we can start implementing this when we talk about new Omicrons or characters that are coming on people's radars, especially after a long time of talking about them. And if you want something to help you remod your roster from top to bottom, you can just reach out to Pimpo as well. They'll level up your mods, slice your mods, remod your entire roster from top to bottom. And they're also doing referral discounts as well. So if you're being referred by a friend, let them know, you'll get a discount. So we're gonna talk about defensive and offensive performance with this team, and I want to briefly talk about defensive performance. So we have a lot of offensive from top-end guild players. Pimpo sent us a lot of gameplay on the Genos team. It's going to be for end-game guilds, I think more of an offensive powerhouse tool for Territory Wars. But even on newer mid-game accounts, check this out. Over here to my right is my free-to-play Territory Wars that they absolutely dominated on. And we have a Geonosian wall that we put in usually, because that's a pretty standard team for people that want to get Wat Tambori. It's a necessary team in the game. So not everyone has an Omicron Poggle in my free-to-play guild, but as you can see, this one got one shot. But look at this, Gear 11 Poggle, 2 shots. This Geonosian team got 3 shots. No Omicron there. This one has no Omicron. Look at these low gear levels. 8 defensive holds. Way more holds than I'm seeing more than ever on this team. Looking for some more Poggle ones? Yes, so that one doesn't have a Poggle Omicron. Poggle Omicron right there, boom. 5 defensive holds. Poggle Omicron there, 4 defensive holds. 3 defensive holds on that one. More down here, check this out. We have 3 defensive holds, 5 defensive holds, 2 defensive holds. Pretty much every team that had a Poggle Omicron for my guild got defensive holds, and that drains a lot of resources from your opponents. So for early mid-game guilds, this I think is going to be a huge Omicron, and then once you get to more of the end game guilds like what my guild wants, you're probably gonna use it more for offensive things. So let's talk about that. So big thanks to people for providing all this gameplay here. And as a reminder, this is just for Territory Wars, so unfortunately not for Grand Arena. Let's not get into the whole philosophy of it all. So only in Territory Wars, and it's so simple, but at the start of the battle and the first time an ally is summoned, so Geonosian Brute, they gain Geonosian Brood until the end of the battle, or they are defeated, which can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. So don't confuse it with the character Geonosian Brood. It's a new stats effect called the Geonosian Brood. And what the Geonosian Brood does is it's giving you plus 20% max health, protection, offense, and 10 speed for each Geonosian ally. So it makes this team incredibly durable. So if you have 6 Geonosian allies, you're getting 60 speed, 120% max health, max protection, offense, and tenacity. That's a lot of stats going on there. And when the character with Geonosian Brood is defeated, they get to revive at 100% health and protection, excluding summoning. However, this isn't like the shorty spare parts. You can't be revived if you get an insta-kill. And when you consider that Geonosian allies are going to get 15,000 max health, protection, and they have health steal and protection recovery, that's a lot of durability on this team. So in the gameplay we're going to look at here, we're primarily seeing people go up against things like Maul Mandos, Commander Luke Skywalker, teams that you would normally not want to throw Geonosians against, but now with the increased speed, the durability of this team, you have a lot more confidence going into these battles, knowing you can eat up the amount of heat that's coming at you. And I was actually quite impressed. In one of the battles, they took on a full entire Sith Eternal team, a pretty decent one, mind you, as well, with Geonosians straight at the get-go, and at one time they didn't even lose anybody. Now, Geonosians were already kind of a weird, wishy-washy way of maybe trying to pick apart Sith Eternal. This is just going to help amplify it even more with the durability, the speed increase, the damage increases. You're going to chop through these Sith Eternal teams potentially a little bit easier. And that's, again, another kind of one of those teams you see in early mid-game situations in Territory Wars, potentially on defense. For me personally, I think I was more interested in Maul and Commander Luke Skywalker because those are teams you're generally going to see on defense and territories, especially where we're where this Omicron's designed to fit in. And now, I think a lot of people are expecting this to be better on defense. And as you saw from my early mid-game-ish guild that I showed, it's obviously doing a lot of wonders in that neck of the woods. I'm not sure we're going to see a lot of Geonosians more towards endgame, but let me caveat a few things here. It still looks like Trey can handle these Geonosians. Again, attacking out of turn, buffs out of turn is not really going to be great for Trey Elite. I think it's going to stop Jawa cheese because Jawas are all about maintaining the line, trying to take as many hits as possible, stacking thermal detonators, making them go boom. But now with the revives, it's going to make it almost impossible for Jawas to work, I think. Maybe the Jawa Omicron's going to be more useful. Who knows? The other normal counter, especially for Grand Arena, is bringing in like almost a solo Darth Vader and trying to steamroll them with maybe one or two other people of Darth Vader. I don't think that's going to quite work anymore, especially with the increased tenacity, the speed, the durability, and the offense. I probably think that's going to scare away that, and that might be why there's a lot of defense holds, because people are so used to just throwing Darth Vader at Gear 11 Geonosians. Why not? You probably don't want to do that now. However, I do think Mara Jade is going to dunk on these guys still, especially the 100% turn meter, opening up with tenacity down, then rolling the train. You're gonna be good. But think about it this way: if someone has to consciously start setting Mara Jade back on offense, that's gonna pick apart from, well, the typical Mara Jade Palpatine Star Killer lineups that people like to use on offense or defense inside of territory. So in a way, inadvertently, Poggle's forcing some people, if you want to have those safe wins against Geonosians without overkilling them with something bigger, you might need to break apart Starkiller. Luckily, Starkiller has other ways of being used. Right now, a lot of people like to use Darth Malgus with Starkiller as well. So there's other ways to use them inside of territory. But obviously, Mara Jade Palpatine Starkiller, that's kind of a core little powerhouse right there. Oddly enough, not a ton of gameplay out there about the Geonosian Omicron. I think most were just deciding to put it on defense and see what happens. And I couldn't find a lot of battles of people going up against the Geonosians. And unfortunately as well, we don't have any history log per se of territory battle wins. But the one thing I can safely say about this team, as we've mentioned before many times, Geonosians are kind of one of those staple teams people build on early on. They want to get in those Wat Tambor ready guilds where Geonos is territory battles to take advantage of these Geonosians that are otherwise kind of just sitting around. They're just kind of like put it on defense. It's an all right team. Probably not going to get any crazy holds. But now it's going to start bagging more holds, and it's going to have to, at least at the minimum, force your opponent to give something a little bit more to beat him on defense. Or, kind of like what probably my guild's plan is, having another great offensive tool to handle some things out there. Now, I've been getting this question a lot. Should I give the Poggle Omicron over the Droideka Omicron? I think, at least from my perception of all this, Grievous Droideka, if you care about territories, that's kind of been a staple all of a sudden inside of territories, and it also kind of sets the stage for Wat Tambor, Newt Gunner to go with the future Admiral Trench character coming out next week. So Grievous has been solidified as a very solid separatist team on defense with that Droideka Omicron. From what I've seen, I think the Droideka Omicron is probably a bit better than the Poggle Omicron. At least from a defensive standpoint, I would think it's really forcing people to do some really crazy stuff up against them. But that's not to say the Poggle Omicron is trash. I think Poggle Omicron is going to be solid. Is it going to be a top-tier Omicron like Juhani, Mara Jade, Mace Windu? I'm not quite sure, but I'm just happy to see at the end of the day that teams that are kind of fundamental to this game aren't just being dwindled to the wayside. They're finding homes somewhere out there to get more bang per bucks and more territory war wins for people. Maybe more relic upgrades, maybe more Datacron upgrades if you're going for that stuff. More Chirotechs, all that great stuff. So you guys let me know down below. Did your guild get a lot of extra holds like my free-to-play guild did? Did you maybe do some good stuff on offense? I'm thinking people are going to be a bit more surprised about this Poggle Omicron. A simple stat boost and extra revives with a team that shares a lot of stats with each other and balances health protection. It ain't all that bad, Chiefs. And on that bombshell, that's going to wrap it up for today's video, ladies and gentlemen, of this beautiful Kyber Empire. It truly is great to be in the Empire today. Leave that like, comment down below, and all your beautiful thoughts. And you know what? We're going to say it one more time. Always remember that it's great to be in the Empire today. Oh, it's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.